You're listening to Joy Coaching America with the Joy Coach, Karyn Grant, spreading upbeat, uplifting, informative messages of hope and happiness from sea to shining sea, from our home in the beautiful Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to Joy Coaching America. This is Karyn Grant, and I am excited to be back with David Peterson in part 2 of his Nature's Fusions beautiful direct sell essential oil company. And today we're going to take a different twist on the power of aromatherapy by asking you, David, to share with us the information that you've studied. This is like a love of mine. It's a passion of mine to study the sense of smell and how it acts on emotions, how it brings memories up. Some people don't know that. They haven't studied this. And so this is going to be a very wonderful experience for those of you who, you've noticed that you have memories come up when you're smelling different things, but he's going to teach us the science of it and how it works. So David, hop right in here.
Sure, Karyn. So when you are born, you're actually born smell neutral. What that means that you can't actually smell anything, and you don't know what anything smells like. There aren't good smells, there aren't bad smells, just smells that smell weird, smells that are acrid, etc. And so what happens is that every single time that you have an emotional experience as an infant or as a child, your brain creates a card catalog. And that card catalog, every emotional experience, it'll take all the different smells that you're smelling and it'll mark them with that emotional experience. So let's say that you have a happy experience with your parents. It'll take a snapshot, and it'll take a snapshot of every single smell that was currently inside your nose at that time, and it'll mark those all together. The next time that you have a happy experience with your parents and you smell those smells, it's going to pull out those card catalogs and it's going to re-imprint it. And so slowly over the course of time, each smell will have a different thing that's cataloged with it. All the different experiences that you've ever had with that smell are all combined into one. And every time that you smell it, it brings back all of those smells. It shows you all the cards. And then your amygdala processes it and says, okay, that is orange, that is apple, that is clove. But also behind that, you have all the different experiences with it. Most of the time, you don't remember those experiences. But today, we're going to do a really cool exercise where we're going to dig deep into your mind. We're going to find these hidden memories, hidden scent memories that actually inform your emotions. And this is actually used in emotional training and in grief resolution a lot. So, because there's smells around you at all times. And so if you went through a really difficult experience, oftentimes that smell will bring back strong feelings. For example, my grandmother, when she passed away, I was diffusing clove in her home. And every time that I smell clove, I still get a little bit of like chagrin, a little bit of sadness because I remember my grandmother passing away. But the thing is that if I take clove around with me and I take it to happy experiences, then I'm able to imprint not just the sadness of losing my grandmother, but I also smell it and I think of making gingerbread. I think of when my mother used to cook ham in the oven and she would push the little cloves into it.
That's right.
Or when we would make potpourri and she would stick cloves into oranges
My
and
mom did
boil
that
it.
too, yeah.
And so, so many good memories that you can imprint onto it. And so that actually takes that experience and blends the memory of the experience, because memories are malleable. And even if you had a bad experience, your feeling about that experience is based on your perception of it. And so by changing the perception of the smells that are registered to it, you can actually change your perception of the experience, take control of your life, and learn joy rather than the grief that you were feeling.
I think of a scripture all of a sudden in the Doctrine and Covenants that says, it's in section 59, and it says, and I have given them the sense of smell and the sense of taste to gladden their hearts and enliven their souls. And I love that because that's what came to my mind as you're talking. Also, as you mentioned, the clove the oranges. My mom did the same thing. And then she would put it in a net and hang it in our closets. And when you were talking about the clove and the oranges, what came into my mind was the colors of the clothing in my closets and outfits that I had at age 5 and 6. So it's really associated with visual too. It can really bring up like the guided visualization. Using this with guided visualization is wonderful. It reminds me as well of a story. I was teaching an aromatherapy class, and a woman had come and she said, I just don't believe in aromatherapy as a therapy. And so I passed around an oil, and everybody just breathed it in and registered their emotions. But I like what you're doing, what you're going to be doing with me later. But this one woman, she said, oh, in high school, I used Final Net hairspray all the time. And that was my hairspray of choice in high school. And then when I was about 17, I was buying a new bottle of Final Net hairspray, and I was spraying my hair, and my boyfriend called and broke up with me as I was breathing in my hairspray. And she said after that, she couldn't buy Final Net hairspray anymore because it reminded her of the breakup of her boyfriend. She said, for years, I'm now 33, and for years, I have not been able to use Final Net hairspray. And she said one day she went to the grocery store, and they were now out of her favorite hairspray. And there was some Final Net. So she picked it up, took it home. And she said as she was doing her hair that night, she started to cry, and she couldn't figure out why. She said, I started to cry. And then I was able to associate the scent of Final Net with that final moment when my boyfriend netted me and threw me overboard. So it's, for people that don't believe this, it is really fun to do what David's going to have us do in a little minute. David, I love that you mentioned the amygdala. For people who don't know what the amygdala is, would you like to expound on that and how it works and where it is and what it does?
Yeah, so your amygdala is a processing unit inside your brain that has the ability to take lots of information and then give you a usually vague but very accurate piece of sense afterwards. So, for example, it would be like if you could look at a spreadsheet with 10,000 cells in it, and the amygdala can tell you approximately what that spreadsheet is trying to tell you.
Wow.
The amygdala is what is able to tell you when you look at someone's face what emotion they're feeling.
How to interpret?
So if you look at their face and you say, okay, what emotion are they feeling? Are they happy? Are they sad? The amygdala is the thing that looks at the shape of their eyes, the shape of their mouth, and all those different pieces that if you honestly thought about it, maybe you'd be like, oh yeah, I can tell that her face is this way and her eyes are this way and the way she's sitting is this way, and so she's probably happy. But the amygdala is the thing that's able to look at all those pieces of information and very quickly give you an accurate representation of something. It may not be super precise, but it's usually pretty accurate. It's what like our gut feel is, or intuition, or things like that.
That's really fascinating.
The amygdala also helps to process when you have lots and lots of information that is being stored inside your brain. And so when you are smelling something, it helps with the process of smelling.
It's really interesting that you mentioned that. It brings clarity. In that same class that I was teaching, I passed around some neroli oil, and a woman tears just started streaming down her cheeks. And I said, is there something that you would like to share? She said, I'm not sure what I'm feeling. I'm actually not even registering what my feeling is, but for some reason it triggered tears. And I'm not sure if it's happy or sad yet. I just have to wait for a minute to get to that interpretation of what the neroli is bringing up for me.
Nice.
Well, this is exciting, and the power of memory, and how oils, essential oils, the sense of smell is associated with memory, and how memories can come back. And so when we come back after a station break, we're going to go into an exercise. Can you explain that exercise for us?
Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have a smell here. I have a bottle of essential oil that Karyn cannot see. She's going to close her eyes, and I'm going to have her smell that oil, and I'm going to walk her through a set of questions. And we're going to have her go back into her memories and find something that this sense of smell brings back. She doesn't know which oil it is. It's going to be something from probably her childhood, etc. And it'll be a lot of fun.
And this is not rehearsed, and there is no script for this, so be prepared. I don't know what's going to come up. We'll be right back after this message. We're Joy Coaching America with David Peterson, research and developer at Nature's Fusions Essential Oils.
See the child within you now, smiling pure and kind. See the tender heart within, beholding the divine, with childlike faith beckoning, leading down a path where flowers not the way to God, believing all he asks. Breathe long, drink deep, the breath of faith. Let it fill your song. Let childlike faith fill your breast. Your faith shall make you whole. See the child.
From sea to shining sea and beyond, you're listening to Joy Coaching America Worldwide with show host and Joy Coach, Karyn Lynn Grant.
Okay, everybody, we're back with Joy Coaching America. David Peterson, research and developer here at Nature's Fusions Essential Oils, has just shared with you this new thing that he's doing with me, and where he's going to give me an oil and I'm going to close my eyes. I'm not going to know what oil it is. I can't use my mind to go analytical here. I just have to let the emotion come up, right, David?
Exactly. So we want you to turn off the left brain that says, what is this? What does it smell like? Is this clove? Is this lemon? Is this orange? And I want you to just feel the experience. Okay, so close your eyes.
I'm excited. For the rest of you, this is like an exercise in deep relaxation, and you can do it with your kids. You can hold up a chocolate chip cookie in front of their nose when you get home. Okay, here we go, David.
It works best if the person doesn't know what it is. So
Okay.
Karyn has her eyes closed. I'm bringing out this oil out of a closed box. I'm going to put it underneath her nose. Go ahead and smell this, Karyn. Okay. Is this an inside smell or an outside smell?
This is an outside smell.
Okay. Where are you in this memory that you're remembering?
It's funny. I don't know. You don't want to be wrong, but there is no right and wrong. But I just went to the redwood forest. I'm 10 years old. I'm wearing an orange sweatshirt and a pair of jeans, and I'm 11 years old.
Who are you with?
I'm with my dad. My grandpa Rowley. I see the trailer, the Airstream trailer of my grandpa Grant.
How are you feeling right now?
Really happy. These trees are amazing. These great big redwoods are just amazing. And it brings back tears because it reminds me of my dad. And I miss him. I've been missing him lately. So isn't that interesting that a scent can bring back joy and joyful memories with three men in my life: my dad, my grandpa Grant, and my grandpa Rowley.
Okay. And that was, can you guess what it was?
No.
Okay. That was Laurel Leaf.
Oh.
So bay laurel.
Mhm.
And
It smells almost piney, something like just very treesy.
it has an incredible green scent to it.
Yes, it's very.
This is one of my favorite outdoorsy, fresh green scent. This is the base of one of the things in our crystal breath scent. It has like the outdoorsy green
Oh, and let's talk about crystal breath, because that oil is just a beautiful blend that you created, David. And I just was sharing that with a guy yesterday who's been having so much trouble breathing because of the California fires. He said, I don't know if I'm going to make it through today. He's got really congested lungs because of the business of carving monuments. He's been a monument maker. And he was like, I am not breathing well. And I said, you have to try this crystal breath, beautiful blend from Nature's Fusion. So we have to get him a bottle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's your turn.
All right, here we go. Now I get to do the honors.
This is scary.
And
because usually my left brain is so in control.
I'm just going to bring up this one, and you can tell me if this is an inside or an outside scent. I'm breathing that in.
Okay, we need to take off the lid.
Okay. You can do this at home, folks. Breathing. Big, deep breaths.
Okay, so this is an inside smell.
Mm.
Funny story. So when I worked at the Missionary Training Center, I was going to one of the departments. I worked in the development department at the Missionary Training Center, and I went to one of the departments that we worked with, and randomly the secretary of the department was talking about this adhesive that she couldn't get off the back of posters. And she was really struggling to get this adhesive off the back of these posters. They were just laminated posters and they had adhesive on it. And I'm like, you know what? Like, essential oils sometimes help to get adhesive off of posters. And so here, like, I'll bring you some essential oil to get the adhesive off the back of your posters, and you just like use this and like a paper towel and just pour it on and let it soak for a little bit and then rub it off, and it'll rub right off. And I remember she was so happy because she hated the smell of whatever she had to use, and she thought it was like making her sick, but the essential oil was able to make a difference in her life. And so I had just given her a bottle of essential oil. This one, like this exercise doesn't work as well with me because I smell essential oils so often, and my memories are of essential oils often. But I can still, like you tell, I can still have interesting, vivid memories of that.
Well, so can you name that oil?
That was a citrus. And I'm guessing that it was either lemon or orange.
It was elemi. Let me see.
Wow.
Elemi. It was elemi.
It was elemi.
Yes.
Elemi is incredible. So elemi is actually, it's a resin that's similar to frankincense.
Mm.
But it has some citrus notes in it. So
it does. It definitely does. Then people can buy elemi from you, can't they?
Elemi's only in products right now.
So what product
you'd have to special order it.
Okay.
So elemi is in our face oil.
Okay.
So it's in one of our skincare products.
And that's soon to come out. And
it's already out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the face oil is out, and you can buy the face oil. It has an incredible blend of anti-aging and skincare.
So elemi is good for anti-wrinkles, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
so
wonderful.
Elemi, anywhere where you would use frankincense, you can usually use Elemi. Awesome. And I just love the scent of Elemi.
I do too. That is beautiful.
Crazy.
That is beautiful. And it does smell very lemony, orangey. I agree. It was very citrusy when I smelled it because I breathed some in too. So you guys, this is such a fun way to start conversations. You could do this at your next Thanksgiving dinner and pass the scents around.
All right. Okay. It's my turn again.
All righty. We've got a few minutes.
Yes, we do. Let's choose a good one. Oh, here's a good one.
Okay.
All right. Karyn, is this an inside smell or an outside smell?
That's an outside smell.
Okay. Who's around you? What are you doing?
Why do I picture my former husband's very old car that he's working on. I was seeing this rusty car, and it's not that this smells rusty. I could.
Go ahead.
Well, and it's got some high notes in it. And so now it's smelling different. Like the deeper I breathe, the higher the note, and I'm starting to like it.
See if there's a different memory in there too. Rusty old car. What else could it be?
It's a very high note.
Don't try to guess what it is.
I'm not trying to guess because I don't know what this is. It's very high. Like it's just a very airy, almost there's like air to it, oxygen.
So what's happening?
I'm high. No, I'm not high. I am high on a mountain. Like I'm hiking up a mountain and I'm getting higher on the mountain. It's like it's just taking me higher up into my brain. I don't know. I'm seeing myself on a path walking up a very high mountain.
All right.
That's my honeymoon. I was on my husband took me on a high mountain. On our honeymoon, my first husband, we went hiking straight up a hill. It just gets higher. The more I breathe it, it just gets higher. The higher the note, the higher the altitude. It's an altitude thing for me.
There you go.
So what is it?
That was cardamom.
Oh, I don't know that I've ever smelled cardamom before. It is a good, pleasant smell, but it's very high. It goes high up in, like my eyes feel really wide open now, like very opening, that highness, that height to it. Top note.
And it's crazy that you would think of someone's car.
Why?
Cardamom.
Car. Okay, cardamom. I'm thinking, that's funny. Okay, this is a fun game. I love it. Okay, so I went on a little bit of a journey. I went to ex-husband and I went to first husband on that one, on cardamom. Okay, I'm excited. We're going to continue this game. This really amazing experience of bringing memories back to the frontal lobes, the conscious awareness of our minds using aromatherapy. This is Karyn Lynn Grant. We're Joy Coaching America with David Peterson at Nature's Fusions today.
Welcome to the Loving Liberty Radio Network.
Welcome back to Joy Coaching America, raising the world's vibration to love, joy, and peace, one happy listener at a time.
This is Karyn Lynn Grant. We're Joy Coaching America, and I'm having a lot of fun today. This is really fun. David Peterson from Nature's Fusions, researcher and developer here, just had me breathe in an oil and name that tune. And I'm telling you that my eyes feel very awake. I feel very alert. I feel more refreshed after breathing in cardamom. It took me up a hill, up a trail that I went on my honeymoon, and just like brought me blue skies, sunshine, and it was cardamom oil. So I was asking David, what is the emotional clearing effects of cardamom? And this is his answer.
So essential oils usually have two aspects when it comes to emotional clearing. You have the actual physiochemical impact on the body, and then you also have the association with past memories. So the association with past memories will be different for each person, but oftentimes there are similarities. For example, if you have clove in an American or Germanic family, clove will often smell like Christmas. And so that'll bring back the emotions of Christmas in that person, whether it was positive or negative. On the other side, you have the physiochemical effect. For example, lavender has sedatives in it. And so it has a calming, relaxing feeling. And so that'll help with that emotion. Cardamom itself is a scent that in American cooking is not very common. Now, if you had someone who had Indian descent smell it, they might smell it and think of cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Where for us, cardamom has compounds that are different. It's an outdoorsy, it's a very grounding blend, ironically.
That's funny because I went to higher heights.
Exactly. So I love the outdoorsy, fresh,
Mhm.
green smell of cardamom.
It is. It was very fresh, very outdoorsy. Okay, it's my turn, David. I get to choose one here.
Okay.
All right, this is one I've never even heard of before. So here we go with something that is brand new to me. Okay, this is going to be kind of fun. All right, so if you're just tuning in, David is now breathing in an oil that he does not know what it is. And then he's allowing memory to come up without using his conscious mind, processing, what oil is this? I know I've smelled it before. Name that oil. No, he is bringing up emotion and going to take us to a story. Is this an inside or an outside scent?
Okay, so this is an inside scent. And this is the first time that I worked with menthol, actually. So we source a natural menthol for our products, for some of our topical products and for some of our other products that we add to products to give it more of a cooling effect. So like in our topical relief cream, we have extra menthol added and it's amazing for it. And the very first time that I worked with menthol, it came in this little drum, and menthol comes as crystals, like these little tiny crystals. And I remember just opening up this little drum and just this wave of smell washes over me. And I think, oh my gosh, like this is such an intense experience that's happening here. And it was in my workroom back at our old facility. Actually not even in my workroom. It was back in the blending area where we would keep the menthol and some of our other isolates. And I remember just opening it up and just having this wave of smell washing over me.
And what emotion comes up with that wave?
Curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Like I smell menthol and I think of curiosity. Like I get that like tingling in my nose, and it makes me want to like create something new. It makes me want to like try something different. And like I remember I for a while like used to keep little bits of menthol crystals in my car as like a breath freshening agent. And you can't use much of the crystal. You only use like a tiny amount.
Mm-hmm.
And you like that tiny little bit of the crystal ends up making it so that it like can like make your mouth crazy cold.
That is so interesting. This is corn mint.
It's corn mint. It's also called wild mint. And interestingly, corn mint is the source of menthol.
Oh,
so when they make corn mint, when they make corn mint essential oil, there's such a high amount of menthol that the corn mint crystallizes and becomes solid. And so they have to take some of the menthol out of corn mint in order for it to be a liquid. And that menthol that they take out is what we buy as the pure menthol.
That's really interesting because as I smelled it, as you were speaking, I remember, because I'm a massage therapist, and I remember before I was a massage therapist, before I used essential oils, I remember giving my husband a back rub with very strong mentholy, and it hurt my nose. This was a beautiful scent that I could see, oh, I would love putting this on somebody's back. I would love doing nurturing massage sessions for somebody's aches and pains.
It can still be really intense. I have a container of menthol over there, and it is like you open it up and you're like, whoa.
Well, it's almost like you need to put a clothespin on your nose when it's that sharp. But this was a beautiful, still rich and beautiful.
All right, it's my turn.
It's your turn.
It is. This one's going to be fun.
Okay, he tried to choose the hardest oil in the batch.
Eyes closed. All right, is this an inside smell or an outside smell?
Wow.
This is an intense one. Inside or outside?
This is inside.
Okay. Who are you with? What's happening? Where are you?
I'm with Jesus.
Okay.
I wrote a song once about being a little girl in his carpenter shop and watching him whittle the wood. And in this dream, I actually had a dream. I was in a very painful marriage at the time. And that night I'd gone to sleep and I had said a prayer and I had asked the Lord, how do I do this? How do I handle this? And that night I had a dream. And in the dream, I was a little girl knocking on the carpenter's shop door. I was 4 years old in the dream. And when I went in, there were projects all around on shelves around the room, and there was sawdust on the floor. And he picked up a piece of wood and started to whittle it. And he started to whittle a little heart, and he put a little hole in the heart and put a little leather piece of twine, something like that, and made a necklace for me. And the only words that were spoken in the dream were, "My little one, this is like yours. This is like your heart is simple, pure, and good." And when the minute that you took that lid off, even though there was no scent in my dream, it just shot me back to that song called Dust from the Divine. Now, I don't know how that's going to match up.
So that was vetiver.
Vetiver, very deep, relaxing.
Yeah, vetiver is a grass. But it has a very woody, smoky nuance to it.
Yes, very
that
smoky.
By itself is almost overpowering. But when you mix it with other things, it can be absolutely incredible.
Well, and vetiver is very good for deep sleep, isn't it? For just really relaxing somebody that's isn't vetiver good?
It's an exceptionally good grounding agent.
Yeah. So if somebody's having a panic attack, would that be a good oil to put on the bottoms of their feet?
I have put vetiver on maybe once. I find that it's a little bit too extreme for me by itself. But I have used vetiver in blends and like blends for my own personal anxiety. And I put tiny, tiny amounts of it. And it's great as a base note. It helps the blend to last longer. And it gives that deep, woody, earthy, masculine character.
It is a very earthy, masculine. At first I went to musk, then I did go to like a barbecue, like a smoky, a little bit of smoky, but it was very carpenter shoppy for me.
Yeah,
it just took me back to that dream.
Once you get past the smell of smoked grass, it to me it envelops me and it helps me feel like, okay, like a really tight, warm hug type of thing, where you're like, okay, it's completely surrounding you.
Very encircling, encompassing, and stabilizing. Do you have a blend that has vetiver in it?
I don't think I do.
Oh, well, let's get to work because it is very, very grounding. I think that a lot of us could use that grounding as we hear the news, as our emotions feel tossed and torn over the things that we're hearing in our daily lives on the news. Vetiver is a wonderfully comforting, it's a deep comforting oil. So maybe that's why I thought of Jesus. We'll be right back with more Joy Coaching America with David Peterson from Nature's Fusions Essential Oils after these comments.
Welcome back to Joy Coaching America, raising the world's vibration to love, joy, and peace, one happy listener at a time.
Welcome back to Joy Coaching America. This is Karyn Grant interviewing David Peterson from Nature's Fusions Essential Oils. And David, I really want you to hop in and tell your website and how people can find you. This is an amazing direct sale company. I love their oils. Their prices are really astonishingly beautiful themselves. Beautiful oils at really reasonable prices. Can you give us the website, David?
Yeah. So our website is www.naturesfusions.com. So naturesfusions.com. We're also sold in health food stores all across the USA, and that's one of the best places to find us too. So here in Utah, we're in the Good Earth chain, and we are in a number of other health food stores all across America.
That's exciting. I think it's really exciting for people who just want to be able to buy as many oils in one shot in the middle of the month, at the end of the month, or as few oils and not have to worry about auto ships. You can just get as much as you want. My first purchase here was over $500 because I love the oils. I loved experiencing them. They put them in front of me. I got to breathe them in. How could I turn them away? One of my favorites here is pink flowers. I just love that oil. We're going to do one more fun little scent test on David here. I've chosen an oil. I've got two, and I'm trying to choose between the two because I love both of these scents. They're both very different. So I'm just going to take the lid off of one of these and then ask you, David, I know this is probably going to be really easy for you. You're going to know which one it is just by smelling it, but bypass the conscious brain and go into your heart and tell us what you feel and what memory comes up for you.
So my memory here, I remember this is an outside smell. I am at a family campout and I am standing by the car. I think it's like a Suburban. It's my mom's car. And she hands me a little bottle of bug spray. And it's a bug spray that either we made, I don't know how old I am, so I don't know whether this is like an essential oil bug spray that I made or like a natural bug spray that she bought from the market or something like that. But I remember like spraying this bug spray on myself and just, I must be younger. Like it has to be long enough ago that this wasn't a bug spray that I designed. And so I'm probably in my like early teens, because after my late teens I was in college and I wouldn't have gone home for a camp out. So my early teens with my family outside. Where am I? Oh, I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. There's this big open field area surrounded by trees with like a recessed campfire ring. There's a bunch of people around.
And what are you feeling?
Slightly sweaty. like it's a muggy, outdoorsy feel. I didn't like the smell at the time.
It was interesting because...
And now I'm also smelling Fruit Loops.
Okay, there you go. Fruit Loops. This is Litsia cubeba. And I have to tell you, Litsia cubeba is one of my favorite oils. And I love it. I love the name. It's so fun to say, Litsia cubeba. And I love it. It is a beautiful oil to me. So isn't that interesting that you smelled bug spray, but it took you to a memory of outdoors and family reunion. And I was thinking as you were pondering, isn't the gift of the sense of smell an incredible gift? It's how we learn. We learn through our senses and we learn through these experiences. And I remember Dr. Dean Belknap telling me when he was alive, he said to me, if you want to repattern the negative grooves in a person's brain that are associated with addiction, use all five senses, especially the sense of smell, to rewrite and to repattern and to create a new groove, like an old phonograph record, to create a new groove, because these addictions and beliefs and memories can be so strong, and these oils can bring up something happy, they can bring up something sad. And like David, you said that we can reprogram, we can re-imprint our minds, our brains with happy memories to be associated with an oil like clove at your grandmother's funeral, or where you were smelling that oil predominantly during that time in your life, and then re-imprint, oh yes, potpourri and oranges and Christmas oranges and all of that. So I just think the sense of smell is incredible. And during COVID, I lost my sense of smell. My golden doodle's breath smelled just fine to me. And I thought, what happened? You guys, your breath is so good. I mean, it's just nothing. And then I realized it was a COVID symptom. I had lost all sense of smell. And that actually took away my hunger. If I couldn't smell, I didn't want to eat either. And then if I did eat, I couldn't taste. So tell us, what do we do to embrace the sense of smell and bring it back if we've lost it?
So there are a number of people who have actually lost their sense of smell for more than 6 months from COVID. And it's not just COVID. There's actually people who have lost their sense of smell from viruses over the course of history. And so there's actually research that's been done in scent training or regaining your sense of smell. If it's been more than 6 months after you lose your sense of smell, you have a decent chance of it not coming back on its own, which is scary. My younger sister actually lost her sense of smell from COVID and hasn't regained it fully. And my best friend as well lost his sense of smell from COVID and hasn't regained it fully. But the research shows that if you use 4 scents, you can start the process of what's called scent training. The 4 scents are lemon, eucalyptus, clove, and rose. Those 4 are most commonly used in the research. Now, in order to do it, you just grab a bottle of those essential oils, or you grab a inhaler that you've made or something that's a source of those oils, and you smell it each day, knowing what the oil is, and you smell it and you say, okay, this is lemon, this is eucalyptus, this is clove, this is rose. You do it 2 or 3 times a day, and over the course of 6 to 8 weeks, your sense of identification for those smells should improve. My best friend did it, and after 6 weeks, he went from not being able to smell the lemon and not being able to identify the rose, eucalyptus, or clove at all. And now he can fully identify and smell all 4 of those smells.
And are those the only 4 smells scents that he can
So
smell?
he can identify those 4, and now he can identify other smells a little bit better. So after he did those 4,
retrain.
Yeah, we gave him 4 other smells. So I gave him 4 other bottles. So I think I gave him lavender and pine and 2 others that I don't remember. But 4 different from the scent wheel. So different smells to retrain his nose. And so that is something that you can actually do so that you have the ability to smell something again. Because it can be devastating to lose your sense of smell, because it's also losing part of your memories.
It is losing part of your memories, and it's also losing part of your sense of taste, because as you breathe in and inhale food that is cooking, it can initiate your palate to be hungry. And if you don't have a sense of smell, that plays into the sense of taste and hunger as well.
Here's one smell that you can try.
Okay.
Close your eyes. This is an intense one.
Ooh!
Is this an inside smell or an outside smell?
This is a shrieking smell. This is a shrieking oil. Wow. I think it's something that people cook with.
Okay.
I hope it's something they cook with. It's for me, because I think of smell in sounds. Like for me, because I'm a singer, like when I smell this, it smells like a shriek. Okay, so shriek. Tell me what that is.
That's our Nature's Sword blend.
What is it?
Nature's Sword.
Nature's Sword.
Yeah,
okay.
This one actually has garlic essential oil in it.
Oh.
But it has lemongrass, clove, lemon, Litsea cubeba, which you love, rosemary, tea tree, oregano, eucalyptus, cinnamon, thyme, melissa, and garlic. So this is the everything in the kitchen sink essential oil blend.
And so how would you suggest a person use that oil?
So this is what we call our extreme protective blend. So
It's very
I've rubbed
soft.
this on the bottom of my feet when nothing else works.
Really?
Type of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you put on socks and then you go to sleep because no one else wants to be around you.
Okay, that is awesome. You know, I've really enjoyed this. I have a method that I've created that is very beautiful for grief release and being able to combine all five senses, the sense of touch, the sense of smell, the sense of hearing through music, our guided visualizations, the sense of sight through the gift of insight. You know, they say that the greatest sights you'll ever see are the ones behind your eyes, the things that we can visualize. And I love that you've demonstrated today here on this call, David, how things can come back in living color. Memories can come back, and this ties in super strongly to me to a sense of creativity. And I love the gift of creativity you have in creating these blends, the altruistic nature that you have in creating them for the purposes that you have intended them. I'm excited to learn more about them, to share them with family and friends. I want you to, oh, and by the way, when you go to the Nature's Fusions website, there's a beautiful article on scent and memory, right? There's a whole article on scent and memory that you can go to. So we're so grateful to have had you here today, David, and thank you everybody for joining us. We hope that you will play the scent game. Name that scent, name that emotion, name that memory. This is Karyn Lynn Grant, Joy Coaching America, with the wonderful, amazing David Peterson.